Hi, and welcome back to Decultified. Today we're diving deep into a topic that might surprise you: hypnosis. Now, forget what you've seen in movies, no swinging watches or magic tricks here. Hypnosis isn't mind control, but when used strategically, especially in high-control religious groups, it can profoundly influence how people think, feel, and act, often without them even realizing it. We're going to unpack how cults and certain religious movements use trance states and suggestibility to guide belief, reinforce obedience, and suppress doubt. Let's get into it. First off, what is hypnosis really? It's basically a state of focused attention and increased suggestibility. Think about it. When you're totally absorbed in a gripping film, or your mind drifts during a long drive, or even when you're deeply focused in prayer, you're experiencing a natural, mild form of trance. In these moments, your critical thinking takes a little break, and you become more open to ideas, emotions, and even authority. Most of us experience this harmlessly. But imagine these same mechanisms in the hands of someone manipulative. That's when they become tools for control. So, how do cults induce these trance states without ever calling it hypnosis? They use techniques that function exactly the same way. Let's look at some common methods. Have you ever noticed rhythmic speech in chanting? Repetitive phrases, hymns, or mantras can gently guide you into a mild trance. Over time, this repetition subtly lowers your resistance and reinforces the group's message. Then there's controlled breathing or meditation. Many groups lead followers into deep, slow breathing exercises, making them more relaxed and receptive before introducing specific doctrines. What about emotional overload? Intense group emotion like crying, shouting, or ecstatic worship can flood your nervous system. In that heightened state, people become incredibly open to suggestion. And here's a subtle one: sleep deprivation and fasting. Reducing rest or nutrition weakens the mind's natural defenses, making indoctrination much easier. Finally, authoritative pacing and tone. Leaders often speak in rhythmic, commanding patterns, guiding followers into that focused attention state, much like a hypnotist's induction script. You can see this played out in real-world examples. Jim Jones of the People's Temple was notorious for his long late-night sermons, using rhythmic speech and sheer exhaustion to wear followers down. Scientology auditing sessions, while not called hypnosis, mimic hypnotic suggestion, focusing attention inward while reinforcing their unique, group-specific beliefs. And many faith healers or charismatic preachers use crowd rhythm, repetition, and music to induce trance-like states before delivering commands, or what they call miracles. These techniques don't erase free will, but they definitely narrow the range of conscious choice, making people more compliant and emotionally dependent. The psychology behind this is fascinating. Under hypnosis, the analytical parts of your brain quiet down, while your emotional and associative areas become more active. This is why hypnotic or trance experiences can feel so spiritual or divine. You feel something incredibly real, but that feeling is heavily shaped by the context and suggestion around you. Cults exploit this brilliantly by linking intense emotional experiences to their authority. When followers feel euphoric or deeply moved, they're told it's proof that the leader or doctrine is unequivocally true. It creates a powerful feedback loop. The leader induces a trance, the follower feels a powerful emotion, and that emotion reinforces their belief. So, how do you recognize these signs? If you notice long rhythmic sessions with repetitive language, or feel pressure to feel specific spiritual experiences, or see leaders using emotion to bypass rational thought, or if there's little space for questioning after emotionally intense moments, you're likely witnessing hypnotic conditioning, not genuine enlightenment. These methods can be incredibly subtle, a mix of psychology, social pressure, and spiritual framing. But they all serve one core purpose: to make questioning feel wrong and obedience feel natural. Breaking free from these patterns, what we call dehypnosis, means relearning how to recognize trance states and how to consciously come back to awareness. Grounding techniques, critical thinking exercises, and therapy with professionals who understand coercive control can be incredibly helpful in restoring your autonomy. Dehypnosis isn't about breaking some magical spell, it's about reclaiming your attention and your mind. Remember, hypnosis itself isn't dangerous. It's a tool, one that can be used to heal or to harm, depending entirely on who uses it and why. But when it's used without your consent, wrapped in spiritual authority, or designed to suppress your ability to choose freely, that's when it becomes manipulation. Stay aware of the signs, trust your critical mind, and remember, genuine belief never needs to bypass your rational thought. This is Decultified. Thanks so much for watching today.